All right. Warned you guys it might be trippy. So, hey, what is happening, folks? Good to see you all here. Eric and Hayes and Hans and Mr. Wabbit. Zero the prototype. Hey, cool. Haven't seen you here before, I don't think. Jeff, good to see you. And if I'm missing anybody, I apologize. Yeah, going to be an interesting evening tonight, I think. And I'm assuming that you're hearing me run my YAT. Let me double check real quick. Yep, there I am. Okay, good. So anyway, and I'm already all coughed up tonight. So this is going to be one of those nights, I can tell. I got a few things I want to wabbit. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I want to ramble on about some rabbit holes to explore. I'm going to go ahead and set this back to the wide shot there. Some PTZ action for Mr. Wabbit, and so good. And one thing I do see that's not quite right: you shouldn't be seeing the audio reactive stuff going on when I talk, but that's okay. Minor detail. So, a couple of things I wanted to talk about tonight. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Wabbit. Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know what kind of don't know what got into me musically tonight, but we can go over what was in the jam. Obviously, the Take 5. Actually, I do know what got into me. We'll talk about that a little bit. So that was Take 5, Polybrute. And I love that ribbon controller. And I play that, back to the Take 5, I play that both from its keyboard and from the Control S. Also, one other sound tonight. Was it a musical? Hey, Paul. Good to see you. Excellent. So, Paul will know a little bit about what I'm talking when I get to talk about in a little bit. So, so there's that. And then anyway, else in the jam, other stuff in the jam. That is Arturia's SQ80, SQ80V. Probably the closest I'll get to owning a Eternity, and welcome. Probably the closest I will get to owning another Ensoniq, which is fine. I mean, I love Ensoniq stuff, but this is the one that I would buy. It would be the SQ80 if I were to buy another one, and here I've got it in software. So that's awesome. And then also blooping and bleeping around in the background, there's some from Porphyra, doing some of the bleeps and bloops, and then the drums are coming out of Native Instruments session percussion with some custom patterns that I did. So anyway, that's that. Let me get out the show notes, because, don't want to forget anything. Lots to talk about. Actually, not a huge amount to talk about, but lots of little bullet points in the couple of things. So anyway, first thing I wanted to talk, any sound possible as long as it's noise. And hey, nothing wrong. Ensoniq cheap, but tech reports FX chips gone. Well, so, and see, when I bought Ensoniq stuff, it wasn't cheap, but, my Ensoniq, the Ensoniq I owned was a VFX SD, and I bought it pretty soon after it came out, which I really enjoyed. And So there's that. And as far as doing repairs, as long as I can as long as I can find the parts on an Ensoniq, I actually do my own repairs on those. The VFX SDs, when they first came out, had a problem. Had a problem where they would lose keyboard calibration, and the only way to actually fix it was to solder the halves of the keyboard together. And so I had no fear of taking the thing apart and doing that. So Fismo, that's a thing. I used to own a DP4, probably the best effects unit I ever had in my life. Things sounded amazing, just amazing, and 4 separate multi effects in one box. And it's one of the things that I kind of sort of regret having got rid of. So anyway, a little itch there. One thing I wanted to talk about tonight, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but it's part of what I want to talk about is some experiences that I've had over the last couple weeks, and really longer than that, but have kind of come home in the last week or so. Is the importance of feeling a sense of community, and we've been building some communities online, and online communities are wonderful, but there's nothing quite like getting together, I don't think anyway, with a bunch of like-minded folks and talking about music and synthesis, specific electronic music, and playing, and so that was I went to over the weekend. I went to an absolutely wonderful. Hey Luke, welcome. It's okay, man. We're just I was jamming, and we just started to talk, and so we chill online, and this past weekend I had the opportunity to finally. I've been looking for folks in my area who get together semi-regularly, have little fests and that kind of thing, and we just are almost done. And I've been looking for some time for some folks in the area, and I keep Googling and Googling, and I never find anything. And just a week or so ago, I finally came across this event. And so apparently they've been doing this in the area here in Baltimore for 15 years or thereabouts, and who knew? I mean, obviously they did. But anyway, so I went out to this, and the fun thing about this particular event, especially for me, was that, I found you, Paul, and lots of founding going on. Yeah, I mean, it was what an amazing event. And, I shared some live footage with the Synth Seekers group during the thing. And unfortunately, I learned a lesson doing that, in that using the camera app that is part of the Discord app is really a horrible camera. It makes horrible video. Because I wanted to share a little bit of it tonight, and it was so bad that I can't do it. I started to edit it I can't put this thing on. But the music was just amazing in so many different ways, and it's so much fun, and that's kind of sort of what inspired tonight's jam, actually. Wabbit, here's the thing. I mean, you're not in my backyard, but you're not horribly far away from me. So, and because I don't consider Luke to be terribly far away from me. So so I mean, we can figure out ways for us to get together. I know, Wabbit, there are folks in in the the DC area. It is a little bit of a trek to get to you, Jeff. It's that's if I'm motivated, I can get to where you are in about 12 and a half hours. I got to be really motivated. Hayes, no, Tennessee is not terribly far. It's rockets. So anyway, it was just so much fun to get to be in that room, and the other part of that particular event that was really fun for me was that it took place at the National Electronics Museum and the Computer Museum at System Source, and I used to work for the folks who owned System Source many years ago, and I remember when the Computer Museum was, I think, six computers that didn't work on 2 or 3 desks in the conference room in one of our offices. And to see what that has grown into was really cool. And unfortunately, the fellow that I wanted to chat with was not there. He had to leave early. But so anyway, just that whole idea of just that whole idea of being able to get together, and it was and some of the video that I saw that got posted on Facebook was fantastic. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with. So yeah, I know I worked for Bob and Mari, and there's one fellow other than them. There's one fellow who's still there from when I was there, they're having his retirement dinner later this week. So yeah, and I haven't seen those guys since I stopped working there, but it would have been really cool to be able to catch up at least with Bob, and because Bob Roswell, who you worked with to host the event, he fired me 3 times in one day. It was great, but that was kind of a running joke there when I was there. It was Computerland of Baltimore, Computerland of Towson, and Computerland of Columbia. And the running joke was that if Bob fired you, he finally decided he liked you. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, there was walking through that museum, Paul, brought back so many memories, both good and bad. And it was very cool. A very cool event. So I love those kind of events, and I like those events in my other hobbies as well. And I regularly attend events for my other hobbies, and to be able to hopefully finding hopefully to be able to find some folks that I can hang out with regularly in this area is fantastic. Not that I don't want to still hang out with everybody else, because I certainly do. The community that Luke has built around SynthSeeker is just, it's fantastic. And I think it's one of the best groups on the interwebs at this point. And just can't fire once. Well, it was really funny. After the third time, I'm back at my desk doing my job, and he walks back into my office and said, "So, Garen, what time are you coming in tomorrow?" And my response was, "Well, Bob, you tell me." It's like, it was a good times. So anyway, I guess I'm watching some stuff go through in the chat, because now I can see what's going on all the time, the way I've got things set up, and so. I mean, obviously, those of us watching, Paul is not far from me. I think Paul's about 35, 40 minutes from where I am. I think Wabbit's probably 2.5 hours, maybe 3, something like that, if I'm motivated. But like I said, Jeff's 12.5 hours. It takes me took me when I went up to see up to the New England Synth Fest a few months ago. That was supposed to be an 8.5 hour drive that turned into 10.5 hours. I would like to, Paul. I would like to. We can obviously hook up. You've got my contact, and I think I don't know if I have yours or not. My phone was dying when I was. In fact, I don't think I got yours. I think my phone died just as we were about to finish exchanging contact. So you've got my little slip of paper. If you reach out to me through the website, and I definitely want to hook up with you guys because I think you guys are second Sundays, if I remember correctly. Is that right? Which I think would work out well for me. So anyway, how do you all feel about being able to? Yes, this Sunday coming up. Okay, cool. About being able to actually get together in person, more than just everyone going to NobCon or something big, some big thing, but regular things. And I see, one thing I notice is that there are a lot more, I'll call them, I'll say hobby-related gatherings regularly in other countries. And, and it's like I just know we just don't do that so much here, at least not in this area that I can find. And it's not just not just the synth community, but the other communities that I am part of. They just there are no little festival type things. I mean, there are some clubs and that kind of thing, but there's no little fest kind of things regularly. So. Eternia says in-person jams are the best to get the feed energy, and yeah, I love that when I was playing in bands, getting together with folks and jamming and playing and working on songs and stuff. Is always fun, but this is kind of, to me, this is the synth community is different than playing in bands, so it's like, how do those? I guess to me, anyway, I think it's an important thing. I don't know how other folks feel, and I don't know. I understand there's more activity a little bit to my south down in DC. I'm just not a very DC oriented person. Okay, so and Zero, where are you? Zero. The Kumite is that's always fun, But again, these are online kinds of things, and I'm more like press the flesh. I'm looking more like press the flesh kind of stuff. Yeah. So and so not just jam communities too, Paul, but things like. Things like Electronica Fest was that kind of thing. Doing some and the question too is if we're going to do something like a synth seeker related meetup, where would we have it and how would we all get there? It almost becomes a thing. What would be the event? And how would we get together? How would we all get there? Wabbit, don't worry about that. I wouldn't worry. Okay, house concerts, that's an idea. How about are there any, Paul, in I guess, selfishly, do you know of any imams in our area, besides stuff going down to the south? If you build it, they will come. Got to watch that. I'll get a copyright strike for that line. Um, you know, the DC audiophile people. Okay. No imams. That's a shame, because those could be, you know, one of my things is you know, I'm always trying to figure out ways to bring new people into a fold, whatever that fold is. You know, and to that end, I've started photography a photography. I won't hesitate to call it a club. It's more of a guild. I started a photography guild. I've been involved in my other big hobby is model railroading. I've been involved in model railroad clubs. The bar in Baltimore, unless there's another one now. Eternian, good to see you. Thanks for coming. My understanding is that bar in Baltimore closed, unless there's another one. Because I was, you know, all set to, I can start, you know, I'll go there and meet people and nothing, and then saw that it had stopped or it closed. So if there's something new, so Jeff, so am I. You know, I'm not a social butterfly. And so I don't, I find it hard. I've got to feel out how I fit in before I really start chattering with people. So, you know, I didn't really talk to much of anybody Sunday until very close to the end. There was one fellow from Philly that I was sitting with, and we chatted a bunch. But you know, beyond that, I mean, I didn't talk to a whole lot of people much. Okay, we're talking about a fuzz factory. That must be another conversation. A school in Bowie. Okay. Interesting. Well, that, you know, there's always a start. So, all right. Well, I'm going to file that away. Talked to people much since the time change. Still getting over the time change, huh, Hayes? So, I will admit, it was usually when we do the fall back, either time change, it usually doesn't affect me a whole lot. But this year it's a little different. I don't know why, but you don't want to talk about it. Okay, no problem. We will just let that go. Nice thing about meetups is we have structured demonstration. Yes. Can't do cocktail parties. Yeah, I get that. I kind of hang in I'm the wallflower, or we'll, you know, go outside and breathe the air or whatever. Unless the only difference there, Will, for me is if I know a significant number of people at the party, then I can, you know, then I can do it. But I've already got to know them. If it's a thing where there's not a lot of people there, I'm not real comfortable. Clocks changed Saturday morning, so woke up an hour late. Oops. Okay. How did your clocks change on Saturday morning? Or did you have your calendar set wrong? Anyway, that stuff's supposed to be all automagic now, although I still have to remember to do the one in the truck. I haven't done that yet. So, all right. Well, it sounds like there's stuff brewing and people like it. So I'd maybe I'll start local for sure. It would be fun. It would be fun to FNAI. Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. Hayes. It's like, man. Fall back. Spring forward. You know. People. Yeah, that would make me angry, Hayes. I would not be a happy person. They go by the sun. So yeah. So we have two pet birds here who are actually being quiet so far tonight, and they go by the sun also. So they were plenty awake. Um, they were plenty awake on Sunday morning by the time I got up. Um, Yeah, I can see that, Paul. It's if the a monthly gear show and tell can turn into a jam. Just again, it's the same people, and we're in a um, an interest that interesting. Um, that might have been me glitching, Wabbit. I do that sometimes, or it could be a glitch in the matrix. It might be what it is. Um, Right on cue with two birds. Creepy is right. Yeah. So the two birds, they woke up Sunday morning before I was going to get out of bed. But not a big deal, I guess. I was kind of used to getting up early anyway. So, all right. So I'll put some more of that thought in my corner. Paul, we'll hook up, I guess, during the week sometime with some details, and so that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. I don't know what I will bring with me, if anything, but I will certainly like to come and hang out. So we'll, like I say, give me a shout or on the website. Hit the contact form on the website, and I will respond quickly. So. A couple other things I wanted to talk about real quick. Two folks two updates, two software updates came out in the last couple of days too. Let's see which one's going to show up there. Yeah, two. No, that's not the button I want. That's what I wanted. Still have to get some programming done on the old Stream Deck. So Porphyra and Myth both updated in the last couple of days. I think both on the 1st. And I haven't had a whole lot of time to play with either one of them, but I did spend a little bit of time today mucking about. And the more with Porphyra than with Myth, but I kind of want the bigger Stream Deck too, but it's going to be down the list. The little one's going to have to do for now. So starting out with this, I'll do Porphyra first and what's new in there. Most of the version 1.1 updates in Porphyra are usability kind of stuff. Things like being able to switch the effects. The effects section can now be bypassed with a single click. And there's a whole bunch of new snapshots or presets. They got some stuff done specifically for the new contact chord and phrase tools and some multi-layer stuff. They improved the online manual, or the inbuilt manual, and let's see, a few other little things. Mostly usability upgrades. Not that I thought it was hard to use to begin with. I mean, I was pretty, as some of you know, I'm pretty impressed with Porphyra and the things that they have done with it. There's, as I've said too, there are a few things that I wish that were a little deeper, but their goal was to make an easy to use plugin that took advantage of a lot of the new features in Contact 8. And so at that, I think they've succeeded wonderfully. And I'll have some more news on the Porphyra front in the next week or two, I think. Some interesting stuff coming. Version 1.2 is scheduled to release sometime around sometime before the holidays, I think, or before the Christmas holidays. I think they're trying to get it out. Both 1.1 and the upcoming 1.2 will be free upgrades for existing users. Unfortunately, the intro sale is off. That ended, but stay tuned. Stay tuned. Anyway, that's it on Porphyra, and then with Myth, the big change in Myth, and I'm not sure I like. Myth from Dawson. I don't know if you're not familiar with it, and you're looking for some interesting VST action. This is a very interesting VST, like most Dawson VSTs, and it works on the concept of what they call resynthesis. So basically, you start with a waveform or a sample or some snippet, and you dump it into one of the irises. The roundish things are called irises, and it resynthesizes it based on some deep algorithms and whatnot. And then you can affect it, and it makes some very cool noises. They've come out with the resynthesis engine version 2, and one of the complaints that people had about the original version is that they complained it's more than convolution, Paul. And there's a descriptor on the Dawson website about it. I'll put some links below, below the window when I update the rest of the show tonight. After we're done, the complaint that people had was that the resynthesis sounded nothing like what you put in. Because the resynthesis engine was being based on all kinds of things, including harmonics and all kinds of stuff. And it was, I didn't really understand how it worked, but I liked the result because it was so different from often was so different from what went in. And you could manipulate it and get all kinds of really neat noises from it, really neat sounds from it. I liked it a lot for pads and drones. It was really, really good for that. Resynthesis Engine version 2 makes a more realistic representation or resynthesis of what you put in. So Chris at Signs of Life did a video on it, and he was putting stuff in, and it resynthesized it. And to me, it sounded exactly like what you put in. Now, I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do, what they intended initially, but I kind of liked the original potluck kind of result better. Fortunately, when you add your own sample to the engine, you get your choice. You can use either of the two synthesis engines, which is good as far as I'm concerned. But let's see, some they've got there's a lot of machine learning and involved in the new version that they've added, or he's added. So it's trainable. It now has full MPE support. It has built-in tutorials, which are actually very good, and a lot more modulation stuff is included. So that's in a nutshell the update. And full MPE support. By the way, full MPE support. Every nudge, every wiggle, every nuance that comes in from whatever your controller is can be mapped and be and can affect the outcome. So yeah. Now I don't know. I don't know the specifics on the MP support besides that they're saying it's full support. There was mention on the website specifically of Osmos and Rolly and a couple of others that are specifically mentioned as being directly supported. So there's that, and so that's the talking head section of tonight. So now we're going to get into. I'd like to move on. Let's see, $90, not too shabby. No, it's not. Jeff, is that a sale price? Because I think it was more when I bought it. Huxah. What I wanted to, the meat of tonight's show, though, what I wanted to talk about, or what I wanted to do, on sale. Okay, yeah, I think was it regularly like 150 or 170 or something like that. Anyway, it's good. That's a good price. 180 is crossed off. Okay. So yeah, that's a real good. $90 is a real good price. Half price. That's not shabby at all. And it's really really very very powerful once you get used to how it works. Because it is a little, getting used to those controls is a little odd, and there's a few things in there that aren't necessarily clear initially, but you can there's things that you can modulate your modulators, and how to do that is not necessarily exactly clear initially. But there's a lot of stuff you can do in there that really really allows for some fantastic sound manipulation. Excuse me, that one snuck up on me. Jeff is downloading the demo right now. Gee, if you start playing with that while we're talking, Jeff, you'll miss the show, because I'm not ready to do a demo on this yet. What I do want to do tonight, though, is you all heard the opening jam, and the music from that is probably still running in the background and probably a little too loud, but it's missing something. Let's see how it is when it comes up. Okay, that level's not too bad. Good. So, bring Jeff in on the stream. Oh, geez. So we did Sunday on Synth Seeker's channel. We did we tried something new, and it worked out, I think, very well. We're going to do some refining, I guess, with that, and look for more on that in the future. But I basically had to break my system in order to make it work. And so, yeah, the round table was fantastic. And that was a lot of fun. And that was another one of the community things, Luke, that's like, this is what, this is the important kind of stuff to me. I spend a lot of time working in a vacuum, and I like to be able to, sit down and chat with people. And I do a lot of the Zoom stuff at work, so it's like, so there's a little bit of shades of that going on, my feelings towards that. But otherwise, I think the round table was fantastic, and that's why I wanted to bring up the topic of in-person kind of stuff. But anyway, I wanted to I think Luke has been thinking about that kind of thing as well. So correct me if I'm wrong, Luke. We But again, and that can be a chat for the Discord world as we move as Luke moves forward with that. I don't want to jump on Luke's soapbox on this. So that's because that's his thing. I mean, I could do one here, but that's not really. That was Luke's idea, so I'm gonna leave that with Luke. What I do want to do tonight, though, is that the I don't know if Luke's set up for it or not, and I know I'm not quite set up to do it. I don't think. Maybe I could. It would just depending on which I know my camera angles are not set up for it. I'd have to break things. But what I want to do, I'm gonna take control of my show back here, and I want to make another part for this piece of music that I started tonight, and or this jam that I started tonight, and so what I would like to do is actually go to the computer. Go man go. Here we go. So we're going to go to the computer, and I want to make a new. I want to make a pad kind of thing, but I want it to have a pulse. So I want there to be a little bit of a beat to it, and so I think to do it quickly, because we're into 10 minutes to 9 at this point. So I want this to be relatively. I don't want to take too much time with this, but I want to get it done. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'd said in the show notes it was either going to be Vital or Pigments, so I think we're going to go ahead and use Vital, and we'll slam the CPU when we load that puppy up. Yay! Interesting. It's hard to slam the CPU. Anyway. So what I'm trying to build here, I guess, and show how to build. I want to build a pad with a pulse that can also be used as a drone. So the first thing I need to do is open it up, and I want to get it assigned. It already fixed itself where it needs to go to the synth bus. So what am I controlling that with? Controlling that with Control S. Perfect. So saw wave. You know, sounds like a saw wave, and I think to do this, I want to start with building the pulse part itself, yeah. So I want to find something that isn't too overwhelming, but still has a little bit of a the DAW is Ableton Live, 12.11, the newest version. But this will work in any DAW. It doesn't really matter. This is what I use. What I'm going to do now could be used. Could be done in Cubase or whatever. Doesn't really matter. For the Apple folks, it's but whatever, any DAW, doesn't really matter. Vital will run in any. It's a VST. It'll run anywhere you want. So I think I'm going to start for the sound. Trying to find a wavetable that will give us some thump, but without being too without being overwhelming. Let's see how this sounds. Let's pitch that down. This might be a good start. Let's see. I really don't want to do a saw. It gets too buzzy. I guess we could do... What if we can build it out of noise? It's too buzzy. let's see. I bet you there's something in the Ensoniq we could use. So this could be done with any really. I mean, I'm using Vital. Vital's free, so there's that. And that's a lot of reason that when I do demos, I jump to Vital, because if people don't have it and they want to try and go back and follow along with what I did, they can just download it and use it. And I could have done Pigments, but this, like I said, I choose this one usually because it's free and anyone can get it. Let's find something interesting here to start with. Okay, that'll be a good start. Let's start there, and let's kind of make this, take this and we'll stick it into a filter. And so the way I'm going to do this, so I'm going to do this with a filter sweep, and I'm going to do this using a I'm going to do this with an LFO. Yeah, we'll do an LFO. We'll put that on the filter. And right now it's a triangle. We'll change that up here and go to actually what I'm going to do, you know what, I'm going to make my own. Actually going to make my own. So we'll set this to quarter, and let's see. Let's go back to there to start. And so we can take it with this. We can take and we can build our own wavetable, or our own LFOs. And so all I want to do is basically do something like that to start. And we'll make that happen because I wanted those to be quarters, so we'll do there. Yep, liked it faster, better. Okay, so we've got that to start. That'll be a fine place to start. Now let's go ahead and make the pad part. I'm going to send that to filter 2, which we'll turn on. And I want something a little more interesting for that. And we'll get a mix between the two of them in a minute. In fact, let me go ahead and turn that off for the moment. This I'm going to pitch up an octave. Find a starting point for this. Little drive, and we'll hit a. We're going to put two things on here to get some motion into the filter. So I'm going to drag an LFO onto it, and we'll just make it a triangle to start. And one of the things about, one of the cool things with the filters here, we can make them both bipolar and stereo, so that we get some automatic motion just by doing that. If you're listening in stereo, and especially in headphones, you'll hear it going back and forth. Okay, and so I'm going to slow that down. And we're going to take a second, we're going to take a random and put on that as well. And just make it subtle. Did I grab the right one? Not sure. Don't think I did. Nope, I didn't. A little better. I want to slow that down a bit. And I'm also going to move through the wavetable. So we do the same kind of thing and stick that over here. And this one I'm just going to make stereo. And that is way too fast. Make that sine. Still a little buzzy, so let's bring this down, filter cutoff down a little more. Take all the resonance out of it. Okay, now envelope 2 we're going to take and stick on the level for this guy. So the envelopes here kind of interact. So in order to make that so that it doesn't release instantly, because this envelope 1 it's the volume is like a master volume. So I'm going to go ahead and stretch that way out. All right, Eric, thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. I'm still not entirely thrilled with the waveform. So let's dig around a little bit. See if I've got something better. It seems to me like I'm missing a bunch of them. So. what I probably should have done is use that website that lets you design your own wavetables. But that would have been too long a process. Maybe I'll do that another night. Maybe if I restrict the range and find a nice spot in here. Kind of pleasing. That should work for now, because we're going to mix a little noise with this as well. All right, so we got that. We're going to take all of this. Let's bring the pulse back in. Now I do want to slow that down. So that is on this LFO. Bring the level of that down. And so just one thing that came to my mind, a lot of people would say I should be doing this without the background music or the background sounds going on. But since I'm kind of designing this to try and fit in with this other stuff, I think it with the other stuff, it should. I think I should design it in situ, so to speak. That. Let's go to excellent. I'm liking this. Just the pulse is nice and subtle. No, and again, in this case, it's, you know, since I'm designing it for this music, to me it makes sense to design while I've got that going. I know some other channels they do these things and they get a lot of grief because they're they've got the rest of the music, the background going. Too much. All right. I'm going to go ahead and add a little noise to this. We will go ahead and control this with the second envelope. That was a lot of that, wasn't it? run this through both filters. There's a problem. The stereo on this is making the beat off. And the other thing that's happened is it's clicking a little bit at the beginning of that wave. So let's take a little bit of that out by reshaping the LFO. You had me go in there until it said iLock, Paul. I mean, I have an iLock account, but it's not. It is not my favorite place to be. All right, so we've got the bases here, and I think that's pretty good. I'm going to add some. Go ahead and throw some effects on this, and I think I will start. I'm going to go in a kind of a. Well, we'll start with some chorus, I guess. Never. Well, Pace is iLock, or iLock is Pace. iLock is owned by Pace. Surprise. Wow, that makes a huge difference, just adding that chorus. Okay, that's going to have me come back here and bring that up a little more. All right, Luke, thanks for stopping by. We will chat. We will chat soon. And thanks for coming by. We will check. We will catch up tomorrow sometime. All right, cool. All right, so the next thing I want to do, I got some that chorus on there helped things out a lot. I'm going to open the cutoff on that up a little bit. Okay, not too bad. Let's move on with this a little more quickly. I think I'm going to throw some reverb at it next. Okay, let's make it big. something too about that, the pads coming in too fast. But that's easy to fix. Do that right now. Right there. Still coming in too soon. That and do that. Your live chat messages aren't working from desktop. That's interesting. I wonder why that is. Yeah, the chorus, man, it was like, what? Just it snapped it right up there. It's like, wow, there we go. It's amazing what even mediocre effects, because the effects, the effects in Vital are okay. They're not the best. But I like to do I like to design a sound that's got all the parts within it, and then if I want to add something external, I can turn it off in the turn them off in the patch, and then line up some external stuff, which we might do after. Okay, our overall level's a little hot. And then we at least have to put a delay on this thing. It's the law. And they must be stereo. That's also a law. Maybe I will throw... No, it's the law, Paul. Whoops. Hit the key there. I'm going to hit. And you know, all the reverb and all the delay you can get, that's also a requirement. You know, turn it up all the way. Let's see. No, we're not going. We're not going to go there. Okay. So the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start assigning some control here from the keyboard. Since I have polyphonic aftertouch, dag nabbit, I'm going to use it. So I'm going to take and add. Stack the reverbs. Yeah. I'm going to add some aftertouch to the cutoff. Not a huge amount, just a little bit. I didn't want to do it on that one. Shoot. Dummy. Not there. Remove. I want it to be on this one. not bad. I think I might take a little bit of pressure to the resonance as well, just a little on that. We've lost the pulse. There it is. I try and stay away from VCV, Paul. The reason being is that it will tempt me too much to want to get into modular. All right, a little more crafting here, and then we'll call this a deal. We're gonna add a little unison to this. I have an addictive personality, so you know. I have in the past used VCV. I mean, I have VCV, and I do use it. What I like to use VCV for is kind of teaching how things work, because it really is a great tool for that. You can build up whatever scenario you might want to build up, and I think that it's a great tool for showing folks how different synthesis functions work. And then hopefully they can take that and apply it to what they want to do with whatever. Yeah, Zero, I'm the same way. It's like, you know, I had to put the rule in place, you know. Okay, we're going to add yet another LFO to this, and I'm going to do this inharmonic stretch. So this is going to be, we'll do this slowly. And subtly, but not that subtly. And all I'm doing this for really is just to make a little more motion. Everything in these pads. Whoa, what was that? Everything in these pads. Oh, I know what that was. I like to have things moving. So. Maybe make that a little deeper. Hey Jeff, would that be considered a stepping stone or a gateway drug? Well, it is an incredibly powerful tool, Paul, and you know, and so I like doing my Vital is one of the things I can work the most quickly in as far as doing sound design. But sound design. Sound design is almost as much fun, or as fun. Oh, okay, that makes sense, Jeff. Sound design for me is a big part of the process. It's as much fun. I enjoy sound design maybe even more than making music. I can sit and spend hours in Vital or Pigments or in whatever. You know, I've got I got Diva, I've got a bunch of contact stuff, I've got all kinds of stuff that I can, you know. All right, let's put some. Here it is. Take the mod wheel and put that on. Oh, I know what we can do. That'll be fun. Is that the one I want to do? Let's take the mod wheel and crank that over to this LFO rate. Oh, that's going to be a little weird, but we'll try it anyway and see what it does. That's fun. This isn't really designed to be a high pad, but let's see how it sounds up high. See, that beat doesn't really make it when you go up. So, Paul, you know, one of the things that has brought me where I am now is I did something. I possibly fractured, I'm not sure, my right arm. I used to gig quite regularly, like, you know, 3 or 4 times a month in bands, and injuring my right arm has cured me of gigging. But the playing that I do now is, well, yeah. A lot of my musical career, I was also, as well as playing keyboards, I was also dragging the PA around. As well as my huge keyboard rig. For those who don't know, Jeff lives on the Space Coast, and he's a rocket man. Hey, thanks for coming, Symptoms. Fantastic, good to see you. Something like that, Paul. So that flickering that you guys see every once in a while, that is the Chromebook that is handling the chat overlay, and I think it may be, unfortunately, may be reaching its end, which would be a real pain because it would be very disappointing because it's not all that old. I think we're really getting somewhere with this patch. So we can look in and see what I've done with the matrix. I actually have not done a whole lot. No, you know what? They don't. And story about that. Yesterday we were doing into the round table on Luke's channel, and you know, I have my. Oh, you're not seeing what I'm looking at because I don't have camera up. Let's see. That. You know, I have my, my Shure in-ear monitors that I've gigged with since 2017. You know, these have been on every gig, stuck in my ears every night for, well, from 2017 until I stopped gigging about a year ago, and so several gigs a month. And yesterday I was taking the right one out of my ear as we were prepping for the thing, and the little stalk that holds the earpiece on, the cup on, or the rubber part snapped. And they just don't make things to stand up to the abuse of the road anymore. So, anyway, I did find today that I can order just the part that I need to fix them. So that made me happy. So let's go back to that. Cursive E-Fest. I don't know if that really didn't have anything to do with it. I don't think that was just. It was just its time. I've not been particularly kind to them over the years, so they get thrown in my gig bag and carried around and beat up on. So I think they've done fine. I want to see if I can figure out how to soften the overall attack of this thing a little more, because that pad is just coming in right off the bat, and the pad part really shouldn't. Oh, cool. I'll look forward to seeing those, Jeff. Was this whose rocket was this that went up tonight? Cool. What can I do to do that without breaking that? Because if I do this, then the beat comes in funny. I wonder if I do just delay the start of that. Oh. Yeah, that's not going to do what I want to do. I have to figure out how to do that. Maybe what I need to do is end up reversing which envelope is controlling what. That may be the... Well... have to think about that. But definitely off to a good start here. Can I copy envelopes? Can you do that? No. One of the birds is starting to get unhappy. All right, let's make this fit in a jam, and we're going to save this preset just to give it a name so I don't lose it. We'll call this for now. We'll just call it. Pulse pad. Number 1104. It is by me. It is a pad. It is a pad. Yes. Okay. Leave the comments blank for now. We'll save that off. And let's come over here and highlight that puppy. Get that out of the way. Actually, no. Let's make this 11D4. Let's make this simpler. Just do this. I'm just going to hold down an E. We'll just capture that. And I'm going to take the chat down for a second while I see what I'm looking at here, so I can set my loop. Let's see if it picked up the automation. If not, I'll fix that later. Yep, it did. Cool. All right, so now we have a new sound. Have a new sound for our jam. And with that, I think I'm going to play some music, and like I usually do at the end of the night, and yeah, I'm going to thank you all for coming, and appreciate everyone who stopped by and who has participated in the chat, and look forward to our next visit, which will be Monday, or I'll see you all in the Discords or on your channels, and DAWs should have payloads. So, I think in a way they do. You know, they deliver enjoyment and frustration and pain depending on on what's going on. But yeah, I think they do. Oh, good. Glad you enjoyed it, Zero. And so, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and play some music. I have no idea what the other camera's pointing at the moment. Let's see. Let me look at that real quick. Yeah, that'll work. All right. Again, thanks everybody. If I and Symptoms of Reality, thank you for stopping in. Appreciate you coming by. Same with Paul and Jeff and Wabbit and Eric and everyone else, Luke and everyone else who has been here and who is in here lurking around. Again, we will see you. And Paul, do please remember to reach out. We'll chat this week, and I'll look forward to Sunday. Again, thanks all. We're gonna play some music. You all continue to chat amongst yourselves, and I will we'll see you all soon.